The next one that I want to talk about is unit studies. And unit studies can be, they can be on a topic like the ocean, or they can be literature-based. And this is a literature-based unit study. This is where the brook and river meet. This is based on the MRHE Gables stories. And this is a whole year, around 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade even, where you get your history, your literature, your Bible, and some health studies, some fine arts, and then you add your math and your regular science, and you have this whole year where you're learning through the Annabry Gables. This particular company I put on there, it's Cadron Creek. I'm not sure if it's Cadron or Cadron Creek, but they also do a Narnia unit study. They do a Little House on the Prairie unit study with all the books. That's called Prairie Primer. A lot of people love that. And I think they do one of it. I don't remember what it is. There's a book on here I wrote, how to create your own unit study. That book is out of print, but you can find it. I found it on Amazon. You can find it now on the computer. It will give you details about how you can make your own unit study. And also, Homeschool in the Woods is a fantastic site. Especially history. They'll give you all of these little things that you can make with your children that really bring it alive, because you're not just telling them, they're actually putting things together and learning about history. The next one I wanted to talk about briefly.
One more unit study. Konos.
Oh, Konos. Somebody asked me about Konos. I don't know that much about it.
It's much like Cadron Creek and Homeschool in the Woods, but she doesn't base it on literature. Konos is a study. They base it on themes. The Romans, the Greeks, the Italians. I don't remember what else, but there's several. They have a theme, and it is all. It's more than just the literature, but you're actually building sets in your house and creating, and it's art. It's everything that those studies, and it adds. It's just a different type.
Yeah.
And it's a kid.
There's another one I can't think of that's similar to that too. It does a history and it takes you on through the whole thing. But on the literature-based is similar to Charlotte Mason in a way, because you're using books. But whereas Charlotte Mason uses maybe like 10 books and you read them slowly through years, literature-based, particularly like Sunlight, will give you 20 books that the kids are going to read in the year, and 20 books that you're going to read in the year. So it is a lot of reading. If your kids love to read, it is wonderful. My daughter absolutely adores reading, and she loves Sunlight. And I regret that we started towards the end of last year, because it so fits her styles, and what we were talking about, how everybody styles. But so Sunlight is one option for that. Also, Beautiful Feet. Beautiful Feet does history studies with literature, does geography studies with literature, science studies with literature, and then just some kind of, like, they do a horse study and some other things that children might be interested in, and they put all the literature package together. So those, and then at the bottom I've added some other sites where you might want to just go. Timberdoodle used to just be a place where you could go and order various curriculum. Now they are putting together curriculum. You can go there and you can order first grade or second grade, and they have put it together from a variety of different areas. But it seems to be very kinesthetic to me, their stuff. So if your child really is hands-on, really likes, that's a good place to look. So, and I wanted to show you Rainbow Resource. This will be right here.
It will come in your mailbox and you'll be blown away.
Yes. Curriculum is either very exciting or it can be incredibly overwhelming. And sometimes when you get the Rainbow Resource catalog, it's very overwhelming, because this is a lot of stuff. But this is
free.
It's free, and And so it is a great resource. And if you have those paper making, whatever, those little science kits, you can use it at the end of the year. Turn it to coal. But anyway, so this is on their Rainbow resource, and just go and order their free catalog, and they will send this to you. But and another thing, the Memoria Press, the catalog they put out is called Classical Teacher, and it is always full of such wonderful articles. Again, even if you're not doing classical, it's a great little resource. So that is basically the philosophies. I wanted to talk just a little bit about the practical side of it. What you do with this information is just go and kind of, pick up some of these books, read, see what resonates with you, what you think, research further and get an idea of what kind of fits your family. When you're picking curriculum, you don't just think of the child, which is very important. You need to know their, learning styles, which again is something that comes. When you're just starting out, you pick something that's great and you go with it. And then as you're going along with that curriculum, you may see, oh, she really, really responds when there's a visual thing. Oh, when I say something, she'll remember it for the rest, we memorized it. So when that stuff starts happening as you're going through, then you can start looking back at these things and saying, okay, this is her learning style, I need to look at material that suits this. The same thing for you, how you teach. Don't forget that. Don't just cater to the child and forget about, because that's important too. And you, my example is, there are a lot of materials out there that are very crafty. They're full of crafts and full of, and that's great if you're a craft person, but you are setting yourself up for failure if you are not a craft person. So if your child is very crafty and you are not, don't worry about the curriculum meeting that need. Have a fully stocked art supply area that your child can just, to their heart's desire, and do what they want to craft-wise. Because honestly, if it's not to your teaching style, as they say, the most successful curriculum is the one that gets done, and you want something to get done. There are two main ways you can go about it. There's boxed curriculum, and that means you get a box with everything that you need for the full year. And a lot of these companies, the traditional, you can call them up and say, I want 7th grade Rebecca. I want grade 5 Rod and Staff. And they will send you everything that you need for that full year. That's great because, you have all the bases covered. But a lot of times, what doesn't, there's going to be something that needs to be tweaked or something that's not really going to fit for your child. So you can also, the second way is piece things together. Sometimes that's intimidating, especially at the beginning. And so if it feels comfortable and you want to just buy a box curriculum, there's nothing wrong with that. That is great. If you want to piece it together, again, like I said, books like this, and then there's this book, Home Learning Year by Year, will tell you what your child needs to learn in each year, and then give you an outline so that you can go and just check off the list. Instead of going from whole curriculum, you just go from the subject out. Well, math, what are we going to do for math? And you look and you find your math. What are we going to do for English? And you look and you find your English, and you do it that way. As we talked about the philosophies, the most common philosophy, as Amy said, is eclectic. You're just like a lot of people pull from different curriculum providers, a lot of people pull from different philosophies. And you can look and say, boy, that narration part of Charlotte Mason is fantastic, I'm going to use that. But I want to do classical, and I didn't even say with classical, you have Latin and Greek a lot of times, the reason that it's called classical. I want to teach Latin. You can do all of that and put together your own resources. And like I said, also learn over time what works best for you and your child and how you teach. And, if your kid loves to read, then the literature-based is a no-brainer. And that's the one area where you have to get over yourself. If you don't like reading out loud, because that is very, very valuable to your children at all ages. So I like reading books with pictures, but when they get past that, but because that's a part of, what my daughter, the literature based, I read, and we have learned to love it. And, like I said, this was a very basic overview. All of us are here to help you specifically with your family needs. Any of us, if you know us, if you don't know us, we'll sit down, talk with you, go over what we've learned, what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us, and what may work for you. If a material doesn't work, you are not set in stone to have to use it. You can change that. The one subject I would suggest not changing or trying to stick on as much as possible is math. Because albeit all elementary maths get you here, they get here in all different ways. And so if you start using this one, and then you go to this one, and then you go, that foundation really needs to be, as quickly as you can find the math that fits for your kids, stay with it as much as you can. And, but anything else, pretty much all the language, arts and all that, you're not doing any damage by switching things up. So I think that pretty much covers. Does anybody have any questions?
Can I get one of those pieces of paper, please?
Oh, sure.
Now, Dawn, are there any resources for people who unschool?
Oh, did I not say unschooling? I'm sorry. Unschooling kind of gets a bad rap sometimes because there are people who use that term to not school at all. But that is not the case with most unschoolers. Most unschoolers are light-based teachers. They find things that their children are very interested in, that they love, and they kind of do a unit study type learning around what their children are interested in, and pull in all of the other subjects through that thing of interest. And so there is a book, and my formatting I could not add, but there's a book that's called The Unschooler's Handbook, if anybody's interested, and it's by, I believe, Mary Griffith. And so that will give you more information about that if you are interested.
There's a website too.
Mary Griffith.
I think so.
And so, it varies. Unschoolers vary in degree from their structure, but just because someone's an unschooler does not mean they're unstructured completely. Generally, they are. And there are things that children need to learn that they do not want to learn. So, unschoolers understand that, and they do include those things as well.
I think there's also a book called The Relaxed Homeschooler by Mary Hood,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Oh,
which is somewhat similar.
And Renee had this book. That's a great resource for you guys to get. 100 Top Picks for Homeschool Curriculum. And this is Kathy Duffy goes through and reviews whatever she deems to be worthy of the top 100. And she is a very well-known and respected reviewer. And Renee, I didn't know this, but in the beginning it tells you how to, you take a little test that kind of helps you know your child's learning style, helps you know your teaching style. And so that's a very valuable thing as well. So there's also, if you like a unit study, in Lord of the Rings, this is a fantastic,
That may not go home with you.
oh, that would be But so when you come up here later, I kind of grouped, this is kind of the classical. I have a couple of the guides from Memoria Press you can look at. These have come with, you can buy them separately or you can buy them with a full set. Rod and Staff, Christian Light, just some other. This book is a book about planning. If you are Charlotte Mason, interested in Charlotte Mason, it gives you even ideas of schedules and such and what people do on a daily basis. Some of that, and then this is our Sunlight instructor guide, so you can also look at it and it will give you an idea of what we do. So I think that's basically everything. And any questions? Thank you, Ms.